Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. I went back and watched a video the other night looking for Ricky, which was a Channel 4 documentary about a guy who went missing and he got himself possibly in some trouble with some drug lords. And it was just my thoughts of a lack of empathy from people who'd seen him, for someone who started to get messed up on rugs and started to get in with a bad crowd. His friends, not once, basically said to him, "Oh, go home and I'll get you a flight back," or locked him in a room for 24 hours to sort himself out, and then got his family involved. Nothing. It gets worse. And the way people talk, even back then, about Ricky, he got messed up, he's been in some states. For them, it seems like Ricky was sort of a bit of a party animal nobody took seriously and nobody really cared about. Have a listen to, like I said, his friends. It's very, very interesting, and it's got a lot to do with my thoughts on the Jay Slater case as well. So we move on to an old friend of Ricky's, Bo, who's quite a Mr. Big in Tenerife. Seems to have a lot of businesses out there. This is interesting, but I'm just going to make some points on this in why didn't he send Ricky home or get him a flight back or contact his family in an emergency. It seems like to me it's just that his friends or people he knew, oh, he'll just snap out of it at the end of the day. It seems like obviously Ricky at this time couldn't get off the drugs, and that's when you need someone to say, lock him in a room for 24 hours and fly him out the next day. His friends didn't actually think that, which is kind of weird.
He was absolutely spot on, fella, and then all of a sudden there seemed to be some sort of change in him, and he went a little bit strange, and that's all I can say really. I know he got a problem in the apartment where we lived in Las Veritas, and he sort of smashed the flat about a little bit, and the police got called, and he got taken away by the police. And then he came back again, and he was rocking, and he was sort of breathing heavily, and he was going, "I'm the devil, I'm strong, I'm the devil, I'm strong." And then he was calming down, and then he was getting all tensed up again and saying, "I'm the devil, I'm strong, I'm the devil, I'm strong." This was very brief. I mean, from the time that he went a little bit different to the time he disappeared, it was a very short period of time, and nobody really took a great deal of notice. You know what it's like.
Unbelievable. I'm sorry, but this guy, Bo, he just doesn't give a toss. It sounds like to me he's seen it all before. This sort of attitude that, it's like the Wild West at the end of the day. We've just seen a shootout and everyone's just thinking that it's all normal. This was the crazy situation, what I think sometimes which happens in Tenerife. At the end of the day, and some people probably got off on it, him going a bit crazy, something to talk about, but it's just absolutely sick. Ricky should have been sent home at that time, because things were going to actually spiral out of control, as we saw in the Jay Slater case very quickly. And what was he? Jay was only there 3 or 4 days before he went missing, wasn't he?
They're all living in a apartment complex, and it's just, I didn't pull out of it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, this guy's attitude absolutely stinks, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, I wouldn't want him as my friend. And this was Channel 4 talking to the British consul. And like I said, it was quite some time back. But the thing is what this guy was actually saying, which was absolutely terrifying. I'll just play it at the end of the day. It sounds like to me he knows a lot more than what he's letting on.
Pretty clear that Ricky's disappearance wasn't that unusual. tales of misadventure were commonplace.
There is quite a bit of violence that's grown through organised crime, but I suppose probably the main violence here is simply caused by the fact that people can drink whatever they like, whenever they like. In fact, 2 years ago I had two youngsters come here on holiday. They were just buying litre bottles of spirits and drinking them straight from the bottle. They arrived at 4:30 one afternoon, and by 6:30 they had got to a stage where one of them was in the intensive care unit and the other one was on a watery slam. He could have disappeared in the countryside here, or he could have committed suicide, anything like that could have happened, and in which case there are bodies which are sometimes not found for several years.
Why for so long? And why would people go to the countryside to just commit suicide? I don't think this guy's telling the whole story.
But on the other hand, he could have run foul of somebody, of course, in which case they could have disposed of it.
There you go. You've said it. You've said it, that people dispose of people in the mountains. So even, my point is basically, even all the way back then, the mafia is absolutely just growing and massive back then if you deal with the wrong people. And it seems like with Ricky, I think he got more involved, and it was a matter of time before he'd done something stupid.
Does that go on very often here?
I think no doubt there is quite a bit of organised British crime down there, but it's very, very difficult to prove anything or get anything out. It doesn't. People are frightened to talk.
He said it. People are frightened to talk, and it's difficult to get information, and that was all way back then. And you hear the bar owners, you hear the people who know information. Bo knew a lot of information, but he didn't want to say anything. It's just the part and parcel of being in the Wild West in Tenerife. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. If you want to look out looking for Ricky, it is a massive story. A sad, massive story, but you'll be gripped by it. True story of Ricky Going, basically missing in the 80s. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. But one thing this does tell us is that in Tenerife, this has been going on for quite some time. People are going missing in the hills, missing around Tenerife, and I think the Masca mountains, I think they've got a lot of history, and it isn't good. Thank you wherever you are in the world and supporting the channel.